By the end of this episode, I am going to tell you exactly how much money I made in the worst year of my career. And here's the thing, it's not a big number. I almost wish it were a big number. A small, embarrassing number I could explain, right? I could spin that. It's worse than small. I've been doing this show for almost 400 episodes. I've sat across from women and asked them to open a vein on this microphone to tell me the real number, the real fear, the thing that they've never said out loud. And they do it. They trust me with it. And it occurred to me getting ready for this episode and this next chapter of this show that I have never once done it myself. So today I'm in the hot seat, no guest, just me and a number I've been carrying for years and I've never said into this microphone. So this is me going first. A couple of episodes ago, I told you, let me go back to this. Last episode, I told you about Diane, about the woman who did everything right, built the expertise, did the work. She was loyal, she was patient, she was good, and she got passed over anyway. I called what she paid the good girl tax, and I said a line I want you to hold on to. No one's ever been charged for it. I told you that story like it was about someone else, but I need to come clean about something here. The woman who did everything right and waited to be rewarded for it, I wasn't really talking about someone else, all right? I was talking about me and hoping you wouldn't notice. So let me stop hiding behind the third person. Years ago, I co-founded a business with a partner, a second business on top of my own. And on paper, it made all the sense in the world, right? Two smart women, complementary skills, a shared mission that we both believed in. We were so unbelievably good together. I honestly, it was amazing how well we played off each other, how great we were together. I was so proud of it. I poured myself into it. I poured myself into it for about 4 years. And somewhere in there, and I can pinpoint the year now, looking back, it stopped working for me. The money wasn't coming. The energy was going out and not coming back. My own business, the one with my name on it, the one I actually built, I was starving it to feed this other thing. And I knew, right? I knew that's the part I have to be honest about. I wasn't confused. I wasn't blindsided. I knew it wasn't paying me and I stayed anyway. So why does a grown woman stay in something that isn't paying her? I thought about this a lot because I need you to hear that this wasn't bad luck. It was a choice that I made over and over again for years. I guess I stayed because leaving felt like a betrayal, right? I told everybody knew about it and quitting just kind of felt like admitting I was wrong. I stayed because I kept believing that if I were just a little more patient or a little more loyal or a little more committed, it would finally turn around and reward me for hanging in there. And here's what it took me years to see. So I want to say this slowly. There was nothing wrong with how loyal I was. Nothing wrong with how patient I was, how committed I was, how willing I was to go all in for something that I loved and I believed in. It's not a flaw. That it's probably one of the best things about me, right? That's the whole reason that I'm good at what I do. The problem was never that I was good. The problem was that I was being good is what I was being good to, right? I had all of it, all that loyalty, all that patience, all that staying power pointed at something that wasn't going to pay me back. Nobody made me stay. I want to be really clear about that because it would be really easy to tell the story as if it happened to me. It didn't. I did this to myself for 4 years. For 4 years. All right. So I promised you the number. The last full year I was in that partnership, I pulled out my K1. The income that business paid me personally, after 4 years of work, was negative $1,048. Negative. A minus sign. I didn't make a small amount of money. I paid out of my own pocket for the privilege of working in that business for 4 years. That's the number I've been embarrassed to tell you. Not I undercharged, not I had a slow year. I worked for 4 years and the result had a minus sign in front of it. And here's the part that still makes my stomach drop because it's the part that proves it was a choice and not a circumstance. That exact same year, my own business, the one I was neglecting, the one I kept putting second, the one that had my name on it, the one that I barely had time for, made me $30,017. Same year, same me, same person, same hours in the day, one business that I was loyal to, paid me a negative $1,000. And the one that I treated like a side project paid me 30 grand. So the money was right there. I just wasn't looking at it. So I finally did the thing that I was terrified would make me a quitter. I walked away. And I need you to hear what walking away actually was, because it wasn't me getting harder or colder, any less loyal. It was me taking all of that loyalty, every single bit of it, and finally pointing it at me and my own business, the one with my name on it. Here's what happened next. And I want to read these numbers to you in order because they're the bill, right? The year I was splitting my attention, $30,000. The year I focused, the very next year, same skills, same market, just me finally facing the right direction, right? $136,415. The year after that, $173,061. From $30,000 to $136,000 in 12 months. More than quadrupled, not because I learned something new, not because the market changed, but because I stopped spending my time and myself on something that wasn't paying me back. That money was available to me the entire time, every single one of those 4 years, right? That money was sitting there. It was waiting for me to just turn around and claim it. And I left it on the table, like $100 grand a year, conservatively, right? Because walking away from it felt like failing. And I'd rather bleed quietly, I guess, than be seen as quitting. So that's the bill. 4 years, 6 figures a year. And I paid every cent of it. You know, I've been telling you for the last few episodes about the women paying the good girl tax. They do everything right and they still come up short, and that no one's ever been charged for it. But I want to amend that a little bit, because here's the twist, because it's not the one you're bracing for. The thing I charged myself with was never that I was good. I was loyal. I was patient. I was generous. I was all in. And not one bit of that was the problem. The problem was that I aimed all of that at the wrong thing. I was good to the wrong business. And for 4 years, it cost me a fortune. And for 4 years, no one was ever charged for it, including me. I never once made myself sit down until this moment in time and look at that number. I never charged myself with it. I just kept paying quietly and calling it commitment, right? So that's what today is. Today, I am charging myself out loud on this microphone, negative $1,048, 4 years, 6 figures left on the table. I'm finally the one naming it, because it's a tax. If you never say this out loud, you just keep paying it, right? So the weird thing is, to me, it doesn't feel shameful. It feels like freedom, because a number that you can say out loud is a number that you can't run your life from anymore. You can't hide in the dark with this anymore. So here's why I told you all of this. We've been doing a lot of solo episodes on this show, and I do want to start bringing on more women back into this show. Real women, real reinvention, telling the truth about where they actually are. And I'm going to ask them to do the hard things, right? The hardest thing there is to do on a microphone, which is to be nervous and be real and say what you're embarrassed by. And I realized I had no right to ask that of anyone else until I'd actually done it myself. So now I have. So let me ask you the same thing, just between you and me, before anyone's listening, right? If you're in your car, whatever, what's your number? Not the one that you'd say at a networking event, the real one, the deal you didn't chase or you didn't close, or you didn't feel qualified for, the raise you didn't ask for, the promotion you didn't fight for, the thing you stayed in too long because leaving it felt like failing, the money that's sitting on the table right now, available to you while you wait to be chosen. You don't have to say it to me right now. You don't have to say it to me just yet. Just say it to yourself, right? Out loud, in the car, wherever you are. Because everything changes the day you stop paying that tax quietly and finally own it and charge yourself with it. And here's the part I actually want you to walk away with, because it's the whole reason the show is called what it's called, Good Girls Get Rich, not by getting harder, not by getting colder or more ruthless or less like yourself, not by stopping being good. Good girls get rich the day they stop pouring all that goodness into the wrong thing and start pouring it into their own lane, the work they love, the work they're actually great at. This is when the abundance shows up. It's not a reward for becoming someone else. It's what happens when you finally point all of who you are at the right thing. It showed up for me the second I turned it around, right? 30,000 to 136 in 12 months. That wasn't me becoming someone else. That was the same good woman finally admitting that she needed to move forward and aiming it at the right thing. So I went first. Now it's your turn. And of course, if you want somewhere to actually take that turn, somewhere to stop doing this alone, that's exactly what I built the Visibility Salon for. It's where women like you stop pouring everything into the wrong thing and start pouring all that talent into their own work out loud, where it finally gets seen and gets booked. People in there, if you're listening to the show right now and you're in the Visibility Salon, you're probably laughing right now because you know I'm going to call you on this, right? Because we need to be called on it. I wish somebody called me on it sooner, right? The beautiful thing about the Visibility Salon is your first week is on me. Check out visibilitysalon.com. You can try a week for free, get access to everything. And don't wait until you're 100% sure you're ready, because that hesitation, that's the tax, right? Just come. I'll see you next week.